What's up, everybody? My name is Kyron Chase, and with SummerSlam being tonight, I think it's time I do my top 10 favorite SummerSlam matches. Now, SummerSlam has always been seen as the second biggest of the big four, while a lot of wrestling fans prefer the Royal Rumble second to WrestleMania. I'm more of a SummerSlam guy, second to WrestleMania. So, today I'm gonna go through it. My top 10 favorite SummerSlam matches. Number 10. Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar, SummerSlam 2003. Now, when I was little, my father used to DVR a lot of pay-per-views. And this is one pay-per-view he DVR'd. So I've seen this match a lot. I do feel a little sorry for this match because when you look at Kurt and Brock's other, two main matches, WrestleMania 19 and the Iron Man match, this match doesn't get talked about nearly as enough, which is a shame because it's a really good match. I think it's a good technical match, of course, because this is back in time when Brock actually worked technical match, especially with Kurt. And I think a big thing about the match that works is, Brock being a heel. He showed heel tendencies of trying to walk out with the title for the match ended. And of course Vince helping Brock because Brock had just turned heel, and Brock volunteering to tap out so he could act his heel turn. And after the match, with Kurt attacking Vince and hitting him with the ankle slam on the chair, still one of my favorite matches. Number 9, the TLC match, SummerSlam 2000. Once again, this just like the previous entry, this match gets overshadowed by its two other matches, mainly WrestleMania 17, which is a match I actually do prefer. But this match still had a lot of carnage from Jeff missing the swanton off the ladder on the Bubba Ray and, missing it and going straight through the table. Bubba Ray getting pushed off a ladder through 4 tables. Christian getting the 3D. And Lita getting speared by Edge. Now, the only problem I have is I wish the Hardy Boys had won this match because, it was in North Carolina, so why not have them win? But Vince thought it was going to be too obvious, or too predictable, one or the other. But this is still a very, very solid match. And when you put these three teams together and add TLC to it, it's almost not unbeatable. Number 8, CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar, SummerSlam 2013. Now, SummerSlam 2013 is my third favorite SummerSlam, right behind 2000 and 2002. And it's double main event are a big reason why, and I'll get to the other one in a second. Spoiler alert. This match, the build-up alone was good. Mainly, with the promo work of the two best people on the mic in WWE at the time, in Paul Heyman and CM Punk. And I love how Punk knew Brock had him in power and size, so Punk had to use his brain to beat Lesnar. And there were times Punk actually could have won. He hit Lesnar with the GTS, but Heyman broke it up. He had Lesnar in the Anaconda Vice, but Heyman broke it up. But the problem is once Heyman, Punk went to attack Heyman, Brock hit him with an F5 onto a chair, which ended the match. And this is the match that really started Brock on that tear that would lead him to win the WWE title the next year. He won this match, then destroyed the Big Show at Royal Rumble, which we don't really care about, then entered the streak, and then he destroyed Cena the next year at SummerSlam. So this really started Brock's real tear. Some may say it was the Extreme Rules match against Triple H and the steel cage. I think this is it. Number 7. Number 7, John Cena versus Daniel Bryan, SummerSlam 2013. Now, me and Kyrie always used to go back and forth, even to this very day we still do, over which match do we think is better from that night. He prefers Punk and Lesnar. I prefer Bryan and Cena because I feel like this told a little bit better of a story. And I'm more of a person who likes technical wrestling over, a hardcore match. Not saying I don't like a hardcore match because there's a big hardcore match later on this list. But the storyline of, Bryan having to, is he ready? Like, Bryan wants to prove he's ready to be a champion, and he's going against the face of the company. It had a lot of great in-ring work, great technical work from both guys. And this is why I always say, when Cena has the right opponent, the man can put on a great match. This match and another match later on this list show why. This match was very good. I thought it told a good story. And, of course, with Triple H turning heel and Orton cashing in on Bryan, pissed everybody off, which, of course, would lead to WrestleMania 30, despite how WWE tried to stop that at every turn. But that's not about this. This match was great. Number 6, John Cena versus AJ Styles, SummerSlam 2016. This match really made AJ Styles in WWE. I reviewed SummerSlam 2016 3 years ago, and it's not that good of a review, but I had high praise for this match back then, and I still have it now. You know, the wrestling from AJ hitting the Frankenstein off the top to AJ kicking out of the Super AA off the middle rope. It's all good stuff. And this, like I said in my review back then, because I rewatched my review, this match meant more for AJ than beating Pink Cena that Money in the Bank, because obviously, you know, Gallows and Anderson got involved. This was clean as a whistle, and this would lead to AJ winning the WWE title early the next month. This is honestly my favorite main roster match of 2016. And one thing it shows, you know, AJ Styles being the best wrestler in the company, and Cena always willing to come through when he went in a big match situation, this match delivered. Now, it's not my favorite of these two men's match. I prefer that Royal Rumble match, but this match is still, to me, a great, great match. Now, the first half of this list was a lot of more modern stuff, save for maybe the TLC match. The next 5 are more, I'm not going to say classics. These are matches a lot of people think about when they think SummerSlam. Starting with number 5. Triple H vs. Shawn Michaels, SummerSlam 2002. From the best SummerSlam of all time. What can you say about this match that, you know, hasn't already been said? It tells an incredible story, the brutality, the fact this is Michael's first WWE match in 4 years. And, you know, this would lead to Michael's second run with the company, which is one of the best runs of all time. And when you think about how Shawn really was not sure about himself, and he proved he was still the Heartbreak Kid, he was still the showstopper. And what I love about this match is, like, even to this very day, when you watch it, the shot Shawn takes to his back, the chair shots, you cringe, like it really makes you feel a little uncomfortable. And JR and King's commentary added an extra layer to it. And with Triple H attacking Shawn after the match, perfect heel heat, which kept the feud going, which will lead to Survivor Series and Armageddon. And a feud that really would not truly end until 2004. Number 4, Bret Hart vs. Mr. Perfect, SummerSlam 1991. If you ask me, this is probably the best technical masterpiece on this list. You take arguably the 2 best technical wrestlers in WWE at the time, and you give them the Intercontinental title. The match lasted about 20 minutes, was it? And it was perfection. When you take into account Mr. Perfect entered that match with an injured back, and the match was still great. That's a thumbs up if you ask me. That's what I like about this match. The technical wrestling, you know, Bret winning the IC title, I believe, for the first time, and of course the ending, which was one of the best endings you ever seen, with Perfect dropping the leg on Bret and Bret countering that to the sharpshooter and pretty much locking the sharpshooter in while he's on his back. That's something I always like. Number 3, Shawn Michaels vs. Razor Ramon ladder match, SummerSlam 95. Now, this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I prefer the SummerSlam ladder match between these two over the WrestleMania match. Now, I'm not saying I don't like the WrestleMania match. I understand why it's seen as the better match because it was at WrestleMania. But that WrestleMania match isn't my favorite match of WrestleMania 10. But this match here was very good. I used to love watching this match with my grandmother because she was a huge Shawn Michaels fan. So she used to cuss Razor Ramon out whenever she used to do something. He used to hurt Shawn. But when you take into account how they were handicapped in this match because they couldn't use the ladder as a weapon, they had to do things like throw each other into the ladder, drop the ladder on each other, throw each other, slam each other on the ladder, and jump off the ladder. In ways, it's more brutal than that WrestleMania 10 match. And despite the botchy finish and Shawn throwing a tantrum, it's still a solid match. And definitely the savior of that show, and definitely WWE's best match in '95. Because let's be honest, '95 was a crappy year, and SummerSlam '95 was a crappy SummerSlam, which is why Vince had to force this match into it. Number 2, Bret Hart vs. Owen Hart, steel cage match, SummerSlam '94. The best steel cage match WWE's ever done. Fight me. The story told, the emotion with the family around the ring, the emotion, especially from Owen. You know, when he locked Bret in the sharpshooter, I'm gonna break his legs, and yelling no and biting Bret to get out of the cage door. The superplex off the top. And the way the match ended with both men climbing over the top and Owen getting his leg caught, a great ending. The only problem is I really wish Owen would have gotten the title. Not saying here, but this really ended a feud that started a Survivor Series when you still had more going on between these two. And it really should have culminated at WrestleMania 11, which probably would have saved that, done better for that show. But this is my favorite steel cage match of all time. And definitely one of the best stories. The only problem is it didn't main event. They main evented The Undertaker versus The Undertaker when this was around the best match of '94. Well, depending on who you ask. Now, before I get to my number one, here are a few honorable mentions. The Fatal 4-Way main event SummerSlam 2017 was Samoa Joe, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, and Braun Strowman. What we hoped for out of this match was all four guys just beating the hell out of each other and destroying themselves and the ringside. And amazingly, that's exactly what we got. And there were actually times you believe Brock wasn't gonna retain the title. Now, but this is where WWE really got it right with Braun Strowman. And the worst thing they did was not put the title on him either here or at No Mercy. And now he'll never get the title again. But this match was just carnage at its best, and I love it. The triple threat WWE title match from SummerSlam 2000, The Rock, Kurt Angle, and Triple H. It's amazing how great the storyline going in this match was to the point where The Rock kind of took a back seat. Now, this is probably Rock as maybe his most popular, but the storyline was not about him. It's about the love triangle between Kurt Angle, Triple H, and Stephanie. And from Kurt Angle and Tripp starting the match, fighting before Rock got out there, Kurt getting a concussion, and the match worked, and the work all three, in 4 counts Stephanie did in this match is really good. This is definitely one of the best triple threat matches I've ever seen. The Undertaker vs. Bret Hart, SummerSlam 97. The match that to WWE kickstarted the Attitude Era, if you played, WWE 13, the video game. With Shawn refereeing and the stipulation of Bret can't wrestle in the U.S. if he loses, and Shawn has to be completely unbiased or he can't wrestle in the U.S. And the ending, which started so much, with Bret spitting in Shawn's face, Shawn swinging the chair, Bret ducking, Shawn hitting the Undertaker, and Shawn having to count to 3. It started the Shawn Undertaker rivalry, which led to the first Hell in a Cell, and then it got to the Montreal Screwjob between Bret and Shawn. It also got to Royal Rumble 98, which is the casket match between Undertaker and Shawn, and eventually WrestleMania 14. So that one match kickstarted a whole lot. Triple H versus The Rock, SummerSlam 98 ladder match. This is one of those matches that makes both guys even bigger stars. And when you take Triple H wrestled on an injured knee, this match was very good. With both Chyna and Mark Henry kind of getting involved, but inside Madison Square Garden and the most bought SummerSlam of all time. This is definitely a classic. And when you take into account a ladder match between two men who aren't high flyers, it was still really good. Last I want to mention the Hell in a Cell match between The Undertaker and Edge at SummerSlam 2008. My fault. The final match in a rivalry that had been building since 2007, with Edge cashing in Money in the Bank, to Edge screwing The Undertaker at Survivor Series. Then what happened at Armageddon. Then Undertaker beating Edge at WrestleMania in a very underrated match. Then Undertaker injuring Edge at Backlash. Then Undertaker getting stripped of the title. Then what happened at Judgment Day. Then what happened at One Night Stand, when Undertaker lost the TLC match and was banished from the WWE, to this. This was had a lot of great long-term storytelling. And when you take Edge and Undertaker and Edge's innovation, this is a very good Hell in a Cell match. And one of the few times in the last decade plus when Hell in a Cell was necessary here. And Undertaker just paying Edge back for everything, from hitting him with a camera to using a concerto to hit him with a spear, hit him with a tombstone, and then chokeslam straight to hell after the match. Definitely one of the best Hell in a Cell matches. And my number one favorite SummerSlam match of all time, if you couldn't guess, Bret Hart vs. British Bulldogs, SummerSlam 92. The atmosphere in London, England, in front of a huge crowd. The British Bulldog, the home country boy, versus Bret Hart. With the family divided, because obviously, British Bulldog had married Bret's sister. The family had been divided, and you had a great technical match that told a great story. And what's amazing is, British Bulldog had forgotten the entire match, and Bret carried him to a damn near 5-star classic. And it's still Bret has said it's his favorite match to work, and I understand. I can see why. He carried his brother-in-law to this great match, and a lot of great spots like the sharpshooter spot, Bret kicking out of the running power slam, and British Bulldog winning with a reversing sunset flip for the pin. Still the best SummerSlam match to me when you take into account atmosphere, wrestling, storyline. And it's still the best. And that's why it's still number one to me. But you never know. With SummerSlam being tonight, I might have to update this countdown. You never know. But until then, I'm Kyron Chase, and I will see you guys next time.